Hi guys, this is Colonel Blair, just giving another recap on a game of Subterfuge that I just finished up yesterday. The game went for just short of 10 days, and it was a rated game, first to 200 Neptunium, and here's the other players. We've got Bayer, Pagsis, Fly Darkwings 805, Dibby Dibdoo, Dibby Didoo, Dibby Didoo. Tongue twister. Janitorial duties. Psycho Gorilla. Top Killer. I think that's everyone. So 8-player game. Pretty much what I'd call this game is, from my point of view, is how to succeed and also make enemies in future games. It's quite a lot of warring and backstabbing and a lot of things I needed to do to come out with the win in this one. Spoiler alert. A lot of my other games that I've recorded, I think I've been showing the ones that I haven't won, but the majority of my games I have won, and this is one I'd like to share because it was an interesting game. So I didn't really quite like my starting position. More outposts are closer to my neighbours than to me. I was very badly positioned against Sky. He's got outposts and moving towards three more outposts which are all closer to him, including a couple of factories, and I've got no factories back there. He's in a strong position back there against me. And even worse, the highest ranked player in the game, Pagsis, is moving those 39 drillers towards Stella there, making a very aggressive move towards me straight away. So really the thing I think is if I don't move against him immediately, he's going to get a strong position, and I'm just going to be fighting with him, and just as long as someone else joins in against me, then I'm going to be pretty screwed. So straight away I move against him. He's upset about it. I try and reason with him about it, saying, hey look, I hardly have any outposts close to me. You've got a lot more. Let's come to some sort of agreement or something, which is a bit of a Hail Mary sort of thing. I knew he probably wouldn't like it, but maybe we could, work out a ceasefire, as I don't think many people like having an open war straight off the bat before even capturing those neighboring territories. Some are very aggressive and do that. That's generally not my style. I like to reach out, get some of the outposts around me, then see where the openings are to attack, or find the right player to put pressure on early. It also depends on my early hires, which I don't think I had much that was all that helpful from the beginning. So I move against Stella and take it off him. He starts dragging all his troops towards me. He knows that we're fighting here, and it's going to be whoever can get the most drills there get the upper hand. Olive then moves in against me. We had talked about equal separation, a mutual separation of the outposts between us, but once they saw I was under attack from Teal, he moved against me as well, which is a pretty standard move, I guess. You see someone under attack, that makes them easy pickings. So I'm reaching out to Orange and Purple saying, hey look, Teal's a big threat here. He's the highest ranked player. I'm currently fighting him. Why don't you guys join in, get yourself some easy outposts. We can eliminate this threat early. And they were up for that, and not long afterwards start moving against him, as you can see here. Teal then starts to deal with me and says, well, we're fighting for a little bit longer here. But then gives me those 35 drillers, makes a deal with me, says, hey look, we just let bygones be bygones. I'm going to focus on attacking Orange and Purple, and we don't really have an alliance per se at this point, but just enough to say, hey, we've got bigger fish to fry, we've got other things that are occupying us, let's move on. So I agree to that because I've got enough on my plate with Olive moving in with the helmsman. Thankfully I get a smuggler which helps me move in and lets him know that I've got the ability to defend myself. he just wants to take. He says to me he just wants to take Hellman, but I'm at this point I wasn't too keen on giving it up. I say no, but then within the space of 2 days, I've now got a third player attacking me, and that's Sky, and I'm thinking I'm pretty much screwed at this point. I've got Olive moving against me, I've got Sky moving with, look, we've got almost 100 drillers going towards me here, while all my forces are busy tied up against Olive. So I say to Olive, look, I'll agree to give you Hellman, which he surprisingly accepts. I thought he would keep pushing, especially once he could find out that Sky was attacking me. But I had a feeling that Olive and Navy were very close knit, whether they knew each other or something else. I'm not sure. But as soon as Blue was getting under pressure from Pink, Olive has moved straight away across to help him. And you can see here that, Olive with that helmsman right near Navy, he could have easily taken him out. Navy had no way to run. But he obviously is sticks to his word, trustworthy player perhaps, which I noticed and thought, I couldn't see Blue's Queen at that point, but I do a little bit later and see that he had that opportunity. So I thought, trustworthy player, maybe I can use that at some point, because after he agreed to that deal with me, he was good and kept to his word, kept the drillers at Hellman and Woodridge pretty low, and we were going to need to team up a little bit later against the top players. So Teal's getting hammered by Orange and Purple, and asked if I will give him somewhere to give him some refuge, give him somewhere to go, so that he can survive, and he'll give me drillers. He'll give me his specialists, and also he'll give me specialists moving into the future, which is obviously a massive bonus, and really should have put a huge target on me and him right there. I don't think should ever let anyone get that sort of power. The longer the game goes on, the more likely that player is going to become pretty much unbeatable. I wasn't sure that Teal would keep to their word. I thought, maybe they were going through me to get to Olive to help them out instead. Olive and Teal had both been attacking me. So I'm not quite sure what it was that made Teal think that going to me was a better option than Olive. Maybe Olive didn't want to give him an outpost, I'm not sure. So I'm defending along here. Now I've got my second sentry moving in. I've got Sky moving in with his pirate nav combo to take out the 76 I've got going to Orsich. But he doesn't count on one little thing, which is I have a intelligence officer hire, which I wait till the last possible second to do, and capture his pirate and navigator. I'm not sure if you see too many times where an intelligence officer has been the cause of a capture of a pirate and a navigator. But that was a huge blow to him, and he must be realizing at this point. Now I've got my second intelligence officer now, getting that from Teal, and he's given me that helmsman as well, and a smuggler coming in. So all these specialists coming in are really turning the tide here, and Sky's, I think, realizing at this point that he's in big trouble. So I keep moving in. Last second save again by the smuggler, and now I just start piling it on. And he gives me some drillers. I've been hounding him for a while to say, hey, let's cut off this attack and let's go against Orange. He's got 5 days before he wins, which is still a lot of time in Subterfuge, but you don't want to get him in a position where you can't catch up. And he says he'll help out, so I start moving my sentry away. I start thinking, it's going to be good. We're not going to, we're going to be able to work together, me, Olive, and Sky all together against Orange and Purple. Purple in building mines as well, so they were both sitting first and second and looking pretty. But then Sky comes back and says, look, I need to wait till I'm at full strength before I have a go at Orange. And considering he'd been significantly weakened by my attacks, it was going to take him probably 2 days to get back to full strength, even with the Tycoon that he had. And I couldn't wait that long, and there was no way to guarantee that when he got to full strength that he wouldn't just attack me anyway. So I decided to keep moving. And he's not too happy about it, of course, understandably. But I capture his general, I keep bringing in drillers, and then at this point he just starts evacuating. I've probably missing an important point back here. As I mentioned earlier, I said that I thought with Olive, now at this point I can see that Olive is close to Blue's Queen and didn't do any sort of attacking. I thought, this is a trustworthy guy. Maybe he'll be open for something a bit more radical. And I offered to convert the Sky's pirate with Olive's hypnotist, and then send them back to him. And surprisingly, he agrees to it. Sends it in a lieutenant as well for the extra speed. I could have held on to this, but I'm still wanting Olive's help against Orange. So I do the conversion, get the admiral, send the pirate back with the lieutenant, but hold on to the hypnotist under the guise that I'm going to use it to capture Sky's Tycoon, and then send that to Olive, which I doubt I would have done. I probably would have kept the Tycoon for myself, even though I already have one at this point myself as well. As well as another smuggler, which I got as soon as I got that second smuggler. I upgraded the Tycoon. So Ollie was happy with getting that Tycoon. I'm not sure if he believed me or not, but he wasn't making any waves about it. He just said that's good, and we went on. And of course, I was just waiting for the right time to upgrade that to a king. At that point, I wasn't thinking it was too likely that I was going to get that Tycoon with Sky having a smuggler moving things around, and he picks up all his stuff about this point and starts running away to back into the back corner, and I press on to take over most of his territory. At this point, Olive's in position to attack. I'm ready to go as well. I've got quite a lot now massed at his border, and I've got enough on the other side as well to start pressing in. So Olive moves in with 113 from this side, over 260 from the other side. I'm moving in with about 200 from up here, and a bunch from the other side as well. And he's realizing immediately that he's screwed. He's got no way to defend against this type of attack. Probably even just one of us on our own was going to be too much for him to handle. He'd upgraded to 2 mines, which were both on factories. His driller production rate was nowhere near ours, about half, if not more. We both had Tycoons and he didn't. He had some decent defense as far as the security chief and the sentry with the princess, but against what we were throwing at him, it was just was nowhere near enough. So he starts making deals on what we'll take to keep him alive. I snap one of his mines, and he gives over 100 drillers to that. Olive doesn't get anywhere near as much. He gets a specialist or two, gets a couple of territories, but doesn't get the mine. I actually, at this point, I log in at one point and I see Orange about to gift an admiral to Olive, and I'm like, I don't really want Olive to have that extra speed or any extra specialist power, something that might be used to threaten me at some point. I was pretty good, but I didn't want to give him any sort of sniff, and I was really still hoping to get Orange and Purple to be second and third at this point, because they had helped me at the start, and now I've backstabbed them. I feel a bit bad about it. I'm doing what I need to do to win, but they'd been pretty good, and I was still looking more for them to finish second and third. I wasn't looking to kill them. So I make up a story that Olive is been planning to kill him. He's going to use the Admiral against him. And I say, look, if Olive attacks you, I'll be there. I've got the drillers that you gifted me, the heap of drillers that I've got at the mine there. I can help you there. His next hire was also something which he could use against it. He's got the double agent there at the mine, so he had quite a bit to hold him off. I wasn't going to attack him, and Olive wanted to move on to other targets at that point. As soon as Orange was subdued, I moved straight against Purple. Purple was pretty well entrenched on that mine with all the assassins, and I think he had a double general, so I didn't have a navigator to get around all those. It was going to take quite a lot of drillers to get in there. I could have done it with some time, but it wasn't really necessary. I was moving around with, I think, 3 admirals at this point. Really able to catch me. I could take most outposts with ease, and I'd built a mine or 2 at this point, and the win was pretty much secured. At this point, it was just a matter of picking. I decided to pick Orange and Purple to finish second and third, so that meant I had to slow down Blue and Navy and Olive. So I did the bastard thing and attacked Olive, and then moved on to Navy as well. I wasn't planning on killing Navy at this point. But they started doing a lot of verbal harassment. Oh, not a lot, but enough that, they didn't see that it was just a game. They hadn't helped me at all. We'd talked quite a bit during the game. I'd talk to them about plans, attacking Olive and Purple, trying to, go against those big players. And he'd kind of agreed to it, but never did anything to help out at all in the game. I think he was being very, what's the word? He's being a bit of a pacifist, really. The only time he was ever in a war, I believe, was against Pink, when Pink attacked him. Otherwise, he was just kind of happy just to do his thing and mine it out and finish wherever he would. Maybe thinking I was going to do his dirty work and take out the big players, and then he'd swoop in for the win. But perhaps didn't realise just how powerful I'd become with all those specialists. So the other thing I wanted to do was also help Teal. Even though Teal had attacked me at the start, he'd really provided me with what I needed to win the game. So I moved against Light Blue to try to knock him out. Light Blue, I probably didn't need to kill him in the end. He only had the 2 territories. He built a mine. He might have built a second mine to get a little bit more Neptunian to boost him up. But I just told Teal, just take one of my mines and take some of my territories, and I didn't need him. Just do what he needed to do to boost up a place or so. So that would have got him above Sky. Sky didn't log in for a little bit, ended up getting knocked out. He could have survived it if he'd moved his everything over to his mine and then upgraded to a war hero from his sentry. And a lot of my attacks were from sub 20 driller subs, so he would have survived that if he had been watching, but maybe he didn't care. I also attacked Navy. He could have survived as well. I did a very late hire for a second king, which might have thrown a wrench in his plans, but even at this point here, he had he did have a hire, I thought. Maybe I was wrong. Yeah, maybe I was wrong. He had a general. He had a general which I managed to take out 10 minutes before his second Tinkerer hit. If that Tinkerer had hit, I wouldn't have had enough drillers to take Vern. But after that got through, it was going to be enough to kill him. He wasn't going to be able to run away. Well, he probably could have run towards Proteus, actually. But I had other drillers incoming. He probably would have died anyway. I was sure he had a driller smuggler hire that would have got there just in time, but maybe I'm mistaken with that second king hire that I had. Maybe that made him run out of time. So I got rid of Navy, which ended up boosting Pagsus up to 5th. That's Teal. So he was looking like he was looking like he was going to finish in 8th, but moving over to my area and gifting me all that stuff, with me keeping him safe, even though no one really moved against him. He was able to hold on for 5th, and I managed to do what I wanted to do, purple and orange 2nd and 3rd. Olive was originally very upset with my backstab and said a lot of things about how bad I was for doing it, badmouthed me a lot in the public chat, but after a while, after maybe half a day or so, I think he apologised and he'd come to terms with it, and I think we kind of smoothed things over. Doesn't mean he's going to forgive me come the next game, or maybe that was all what it was about. Maybe it was just so that next time we play him, he'll think that we're good, and then he'll stick the knife in. But I generally try to avoid people I've played against previously, just because of that problem. I backstab probably sometimes when I don't need to, but I could have won that game and just let everyone else finish where they would, and not have backstabbed Olive, not have attacked Navy at all. But I don't think I'm really going to be playing all that much. The game does take a lot of time. I generally take about a month off between games, and each time I play, I think to myself, "Oh God, I just can't do this anymore." I'm a dad with 2 kids. They do wake me up during the night. I've got a 6-month-old that wakes up once or twice during the night, which is probably good for a Subterfuge player, because sometimes you do want to be able to check what's going on in the middle of the night. But I'd find myself thinking about what if this happened or that happened, and I'd be getting up and checking what was happening, and maybe a different scenario, trying something, testing the using the timer feature to see what I might be able to do better. And I think the competitive side of me sometimes makes this game a hard one to play. I'll never ever play more than one game at once, and definitely need a break in between the games. So with the conclusion of that game, that moves my record up now to 10 wins from the 13 games, and the rating pushed up a bit higher. So yeah, I do really enjoy the game. It's heaps of fun, but oh boy, does it drive me crazy trying to make sure I make the right move. And it's that was a good win. It was good to come out with that one, especially after getting attacked by the 3 players early on. Anyway, thanks for watching, and if you have any comments, feel free to leave them. Otherwise, I'll hopefully see you in the game.